Welcome back to Biology Parts. In this lesson, we will discuss the properties of water. In our last lesson, we discussed the structure of water, which is the basis of these properties and many roles played by water in living organisms. So just to give you a summary, water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. There are covalent bonds inside the water molecule between hydrogen and oxygen, and then between two water molecules there are hydrogen bonds, and the water is a polar molecule. Because of these structural features, there are many properties in water. Because of these properties, water plays many roles in living organisms. So we'll see what are those properties and roles of water. So the first one, water is an excellent solvent. This happens because of polar nature of water molecules. So for example, if we take sodium chloride, here it has a sodium plus ion and chloride minus ion. So in water molecules there is a negatively charged side, that is the side of the oxygen atom. This negatively charged side can attract the positively charged sodium atom of sodium chloride towards it. Then similarly, the positively charged side, that is the hydrogen atom side of water molecules, can attract the negatively charged chloride atom. Because of this, sodium chloride can easily dissolve in water. So for this type of solutes, ionic solutes, water acts as an excellent solvent. Okay, then we'll go to the next property, that is the high specific heat capacity. Heat capacity means the amount of heat energy needed for something to increase or decrease their temperature by 1 degree of Celsius. Water needs a lot of heat energy to increase the temperature by 1 degree Celsius. So because of that, we call that water has a high specific heat capacity. So what is the importance of this this property is that for living organisms, we can maintain a comparatively consistent internal body temperature. Heat, even there is a lot of heat energy, the body temperature doesn't rise much because it can absorb a lot of heat, but can maintain within that range of body temperature. So the body temperature fluctuations are limited because of this high specific heat capacity of water, because water is the major medium inside our body. A majority of our body consists of water. We earlier discussed that about 70% of our body content is water. And not only that, for the organisms that live in aquatic environments, the environmental temperature can be kept constant because of that property. Now think the aquatic organisms like fish, if the water temperature, that is their environment, if that temperature fluctuates a lot, it is hard for these organisms to live in that water body or live in that environment. So if that is kept comparatively constant, so then it is easy for those organisms to live easily in that environment. So that maintaining a stable aquatic environment temperature is also another advantage that we have because of this high specific heat capacity of water. Then we'll move to the next property, that is high latent heat of vaporization. Here the heat energy needed for water to change from its liquid state to gaseous state is high. That energy is called the latent heat of vaporization from the liquid state to gaseous stage. So it needs a high amount of heat energy. So water has a high latent heat of vaporization. This feature is helpful, give a body some cooling effect. Like when sweating, water absorbs a lot of heat energy from the body, so it gives us a cooling effect. Right, then next property is cohesion, cohesive forces of water molecules. Because of the hydrogen bonds, water molecules attract themselves towards each other. So that cohesive forces means bonds between the same types of molecules. So the bonds between the water and water molecules is called the cohesive forces. Because of this cohesion, water attracts towards themselves. So how does this help? In plants, water moves in xylem vessels. Now xylem tissue is the tissue that conducts, that transports water from the roots to the upper parts of the plant. So in this xylem tissue there are tiny vessels, xylem vessels. They are very narrow tube-like structures. So inside these xylem vessels, water moves from the roots to the upper parts against the gravity. So for this movement, cohesive forces help. In addition to cohesion, there's another force that helps water to move, that is adhesion or adhesive forces. Adhesion or adhesive forces are the forces between two types of molecules, that is forces between water molecule and some other type of molecules. Let's go to the next property, that is surface tension. Here, because of the cohesive forces, water molecules attract towards themselves. So in a water body, all the water molecules are attracted towards the below water molecule. So what happens is there is a big force on the above-most layer of the water molecules in the uppermost layer towards the other water molecules. So in a big water body, a layer develops on the uppermost part of the water body. It's a thin skin-like layer. It is pulled towards the other water molecules. So because the cohesive forces from the hydrogen bonds are higher than the forces happening from the upper air layers. This force is a tension to that uppermost layer, that is called the surface tension. This property is helpful for living organisms. It builds a habitat for some aquatic living organisms like some insects. For example, pond skaters, they can walk easily on this upper surface layer because of this surface tension. So as a summary, water is an excellent solvent. It has a high specific heat capacity and high latent heat of vaporization and cohesive forces and surface tension. So if you have questions, please comment below and please subscribe to my channel to join again with another new biology lesson. Thank you.